What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. It's Wighty here today. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday despite the fact that Gamer Legion did lose. Today we have episode 151 of the JuiceBox, which will be, of course, a review of today's IEM Cologne results, as well as best bets for the matchups continuing on in the group stage taking place tomorrow on Monday, July 28th. But before we get into tomorrow's matches, just a reminder that you can join our free Discord at discord.gg/lockcity. This gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of other sport-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. We drop most of our content on our main Twitter account, which is @_LockCity, but you can also join that free Discord group and get access to everything first. Plus, in Discord, you're getting access to every cheat sheet and every projection sheet, whereas on Twitter, we are mixing and matching and dropping only a couple each day, aside from, of course, Free Sheet Friday, where we're dropping the whole slate. In the Discord, we are doing daily picks from our capper team. We have daily projections for all active major sports. And of course, we have our Lock City cheat sheets that we are running daily for a ton of different sports and prop markets. On the CS2 side of things, this will get you access to my premium plays and parlays, every CS2 cheat sheet that we drop, and so much more. You can get better results on your sports betting for free by joining the Discord, subscribing to our JuiceBox podcast on both YouTube and Spotify, and turning on post notifications so you know as soon as we drop our picks and you can get your bets in before the lines move too much, as well as following both our JuiceBox account on Twitter, which is @LCJuiceBoxPod, and our main Twitter account, which again is @_LockCity. For those of you that like the community aspect of things in real time, again, I do suggest joining our free Discord at discord.gg/LockCity. Lastly, for all of the odds discussed in today's video, we are going to be using Thunderpick.io as always, which is one of the top books in the world for esports betting. You can deposit using crypto, credit card, Apple Pay, or Visa Debit, and Thunderpick has lines for all of your favorite esports, including but not limited to CS2, League, Dota 2, Valorant, Overwatch, COD, Fortnite, Rocket League, so on and so forth. If you visit tinyurl.com/LCThunder, you can get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $600. This means that any amount that you deposit up to $600 will get immediately matched by Thunderpick for you to be able to use for your esports picks. We've been super profitable on CS2, but with the deposit bonus, you can always try your luck on some of your other favorites with that free money. That is tinyurl.com/LCThunder for a 100% deposit bonus at Thunderpick up to $600. All right, y'all, let's do a quick overview of what happened today as well as our results here. So looking at the bracket, I'll do a quick page refresh to see if they've updated the fact that FURIA beat Astralis. If not, okay. Either way, this is what we are looking at here for today. So in terms of results today, Vitality took down G2 2-0. They advanced to the upper bracket final where they will meet Mongols, who took down Falcons 2-0. For those of you that are in the Discord server, we did shout out Mongols on the money line as a nice underdog there. I thought there was really good value on that at 2.4 times your money. They ended up 2-0ing them, which I should have looked at as well. That was probably like 4.5 times their money. But nonetheless, caught them as a nice underdog, so that was cool. They meet Vitality in the upper bracket final here. So both of these teams have already qualified for the playoffs. The only difference that this match is going to make is obviously that the winner of this match is going to be the winner of Group A and will thus qualify directly for the semifinals. So scrolling down slightly on this page, you'll notice for the playoffs, again, as we went over a couple of days ago, but for those of you that may not have watched that video, the playoffs only have 6 teams here. It's not an 8-team playoff. There's only 6. The first place teams from each respective group will get an immediate bye to the semifinals, where they will play the winner of the second and third place teams in the quarterfinals. So the quarterfinals, quote unquote, are just 2 games to see who's going to advance to the semis. It's a 2 versus 3 seed. So either way, Vitality and Mongols have both qualified for the playoffs. We will see who ends up taking that tomorrow, and we'll hop into our predictions shortly. Falcons will now play FURIA. FURIA beat Astralis. Astralis goes home, and FURIA now plays Falcons in the lower bracket semi. As you will remember, for the lower bracket and this whole tournament format, it's double elimination. So as soon as you lose 2 games, you are out. None of these teams down here can lose again without going home. All of these teams have to win outright to have a chance to be the third place team in the respective groups. So anyway, Falcons plays FURIA here. G2 will play 3D Max. 3D Max beat Gamer Legion and sent them home, and then G2 comes from the top bracket down here from losing to Vitality. Down below, we have Spirit, who beat Heroic 2-0. Aurora beat Nip 2-0. Na'Vi beat FaZe 2-1. That was yesterday. And then MOUZ beat Liquid 2-0. So meeting in the upper bracket semis, we have MOUZ and Na'Vi, and then Aurora and Team Spirit. The winners of those two games, same sort of story as Vitality and Mongols, will immediately qualify for the playoffs. And then they will end up playing on Tuesday to see who's first and who's second in those groups. In the lower bracket quarters, we have Liquid and FaZe Clan and Nip and Heroic. So whoever loses these matchups, again, obviously goes home. The winners will go to the lower bracket semifinal, where they will meet the losers of Spirit and Aurora and Na'Vi and MOUZ. Those losers will get knocked down and play the winners of those two teams respectively. And then same sort of idea, those teams have to win outright to get themselves into the playoffs. So what we looked at overall today in terms of results, we only ended up cashing on one parlay, unfortunately, here. So we ended up hitting on the early one, the 7:30 a.m. We added an additional play in the Discord, so the one that you see up top there, the 34 times, the YOLO play, if you will. That one I just posted in our Discord under my Wighty channel. We ended up missing by by a leg, unfortunately, with one ongoing there. And we lost 2 on the 6 times play. We ended up losing on Astralis, and then obviously on Gamer Legion, and then our 10 o'clock parlay unfortunately busted as well. So we lost a couple of units, not a big deal. We lost 2.16 units, and what that looked like in terms of straight results was obviously this. So Spirit and Heroic, map 1 over 19.5 hit. MOUZ, map 2 moneyline hit. Falcons and Mongols, map 1 over 19.5 hit. Vitality moneyline hit. FURIA and Astralis, map 1 over 19.5 was a disaster. It was 13-3, I think. And Gamer Legion lost in 3 maps to the Baguettes that are 3D Max, which was unfortunate. So the Frenchies get to survive. Overall, for running profit, we are still up 6.34 units. So we were down a couple that first day there. We gained 10 yesterday and then dropped a couple today. So we're up 6.34 units specifically up until this point in IEM Cologne, $634.58. Alrighty, let's get into today. So obviously, as we discussed, that's the way that the bracket looks, and this is what we look like for matches. The only one that won't take place tomorrow out of all of the ones that have been decided is Mongols and Vitality. They will be playing on Tuesday to decide that winner there. So the first 2 that we have at 7:30, same start times that it has been. So whatever your time zone is, it's the same start time that we've seen all week here. The first 2 matches are going to be Na'Vi and MOUZ, and then Nip and Heroic. For Na'Vi and MOUZ, I think this is going to be a close one. Public was really heavy on Na'Vi. It seems to be leveling out a little bit in terms of realism, but Na'Vi was like 85%. I think all of the Na'Vi fans just came in and flooded this early off of the Makazi hype and the Na'Vi hype from the first game there. I think MOUZ probably wins this. I don't think I'm going to end up betting a winner necessarily on this. I do lean like over 2.5 maps as well. If we're scrolling down to the map pool, I think that Na'Vi could win Inferno. I think that Na'Vi could potentially win Barrage if we see like an Overpass or an Ancient. Who knows? Na'Vi could win either of those either. I do think MOUZ has a clear path to victory on Dust 2, clear path to victory on Nuke, and Train, I would say they probably win Train as well. I do think MOUZ wins this, could be 2-1. What I'm going to end up doing for this one today, which we had success on some other lines, was doing that map 1 over 19.5 sort of deal. So that's what I ended up taking for Na'Vi and MOUZ. Was the first map over 19.5 total rounds. It's 1.32 times your money on Thunderpick. Next one up here, Nip and Heroic. Again, also 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. This one, Nip bugs me. As you guys know, if you've been watching the last couple of days, Nip really annoys me. I hope Heroic wins this. I was surprised to see that they were an underdog or coming in as an underdog in this one. I do think Heroic is the better team. I thought that they played Spirit pretty well today. I think Heroic's a tough group. Nip, on the other hand, they've been playing well. I know public consensus is Nip. I'm going to vote Heroic live on the pod here. But I do think Heroic has their advantages here. I do think they could steal a nuke. I know they have a lower looking win rate on it over the last 3 months, but I do think they could steal a nuke. I do think they could steal Dust 2. Mirage, we're not going to see, but they would win Mirage. I think they win Train. Ancient, I think, would be close, and I don't know about Overpass. So there's not anything necessarily that I give a significant advantage to Ninjas and Pyjamas on. I think Heroic wins this outright, but what I took as a safe play was just Heroic plus 1.5. I think whatever they take for their map pick, they're going to end up winning. I think they probably win 2-0, if I'm being honest, but I'm not going to bet that. I'm just going to play it super, super safe and take Heroic plus 1.5. So in terms of pending bets here, that was this first one here that I ended up playing, so I just put a unit on it as a parlay. Thunderpick does it in crypto, so some of these dollar amounts adjust slightly. But I ended up playing Heroic plus 1.5 and over 19.5 for map 1 on this with MOUZ and Navi. Ended up putting those two together, and that's going to pay 1.74 times our money, or $174 on a 1-unit play. The next two that we'll move on to are going to be Aurora and Spirit, and then FaZe and Liquid, both at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. So first up is going to be Aurora and Spirit. The winner of this, obviously this match has huge implications. The winner of this moves on to the upper bracket semifinal, or whatever it's called, upper bracket final rather, and will qualify for the playoffs. So I do think Spirit wins this. I know Aurora, this is just nonsense, this public thing. I already voted Spirit on that one. I think I rage voted it as soon as it came out. Spirit wins this. I don't see Aurora. They did 2-0 Nip today. I don't buy all the hype off Nip. I don't think Nip is that good. I don't think Nip's even a top 15, maybe even a top 20 team. Their talent is there, but questionably. But I don't think they're that good. I think Spirit's going to win this. As we can see in the most recent matchups, Spirit won 3-0 at Bet Boom Dhaka. Spirit won 3-1 at Blast Bounty in the final there, and then Spirit won 2-1 at ESL Pro League Season 21. At each of those times, which was then Eternal Fire. Now that entire roster is Aurora, for those of you that don't follow CS closely. Up until that point, Aurora, and which was then Eternal Fire, had Xantares. They don't have Xantares for this tournament. They have Joda, they have Major, they have Wighty, and they have Woxic, but then they have Xfloud on loan for this tournament. On the Spirit side of things, obviously they have Zwei in here instead of Magix. Zwei looked okay today, 0.97 rating. He definitely had the worst debut out of like Zwei, Kaisuke, and Makaze, but probably to be expected. Makaze and Kaisuke are monsters. So I think Zwei kind of held his own, all things considered, considering the guns he had, the positions he found himself in on the maps. I think he did okay. I think obviously nowhere to go, but, well, not necessarily. He could definitely go down from 0.97, but we're going to say nowhere to go but up. I'm going to say that Spirit wins this. I think Spirit probably 2-0s it, but I do think Spirit wins their map pick. Even if they defer their map pick, I do think they win Aurora's map pick as well. But give me Spirit map 2 on the money line as a nice first leg here. That's going to be 1.45 times our money on Thunderpick. I really like that for the Spirit game here. Spirit map 2 money line. The next one up is going to be FaZe and Liquid, also 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. This one, I'll get straight to the point. I'm going FaZe on the money line. I voted that and it dropped down, whatever. I'm going FaZe on the money line on this one, 1.5 times your money. I don't see Liquid beating FaZe in this matchup, even with the Twist Masterclass. If we're looking at recents, yes, Liquid beat them here at IEM Dallas. But aside from that, FaZe won at IEM Rio. FaZe won at Blast, the fall final last fall. FaZe won at IEM Cologne last year. FaZe won most recently, obviously, a couple of days ago, which is the only comp that we can necessarily go off of here. It was a very close Inferno that Liquid ended up taking, but FaZe was very convincing on both Mirage and Nuke here. I'm going to go with FaZe again. I don't see FaZe losing this one. I'm just going to play it safe with FaZe on the money line. So our next parlay here for the 10 o'clock games is going to be exactly that. Spirit map 2 on the money line, and we're going to take FaZe match winner on the money line. That's going to be 2.17 times our money. It's going to pay $217. I really like that as a nice second parlay for our 10 o'clock games. And we'll move on to the last two. Last two are going to be Falcons and FURIA, and then G2 and 3D Max. I really wish 3D Max was bumped from this tournament, but we do, unfortunately for all of us, have to watch them for one more day. If there's any 3D Max fans out there, I do highly suggest that you reconsider, but if not, maybe just skip forward when I talk about them. This one's going to be Falcons and FURIA. Firstly, you have a couple extra minutes of salvation here. This is outrageous. FURIA is 60%. Not going to be the case. I do think Falcons wins this. I don't see FURIA. FURIA look good today, sure. I don't see them beating Falcons. Keisuke looked phenomenal today. So in that series that they had today there, Nico looked brutal, especially in the second map, and MOUZ looked brutal in the second map. They held their own in the first, but in the second map, Keisuke had more combined kills than both Nico and MOUZ, and that was the story for basically like round 8, round 9, I forget at which point exactly, onward. I do think they have better games, obviously, tomorrow, both Nico and MOUZ. Keisuke looked excellent. Kicksan looked like he didn't know what he was doing half of the time. I do think Falcons beat FURIA, though. I don't think they're going to end up going home here. Give me Falcons on the money line as a super safe, at least in my opinion, first leg for the 12:30 games. And we'll move forward. I'll keep that one short and sweet. Sorry to all the Brazilian fans. Sorry to all the FURIA fans. I do think, unfortunately, y'all are going home. But you look good. Credit where credit's due. FURIA's looked good, but it's Falcons. Next one up, 3D Max and G2, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time as well, obviously. Hopefully 3D Max goes home here. I'm betting on them to go home here. G2 has looked really good. They played Vitality well. Public consensus, I would agree. I'm going to vote G2 as well. G2's got a world ranking only 2 higher. 3D Max looked really good in that 3 overtime against Gamer Legion, however many overtimes that Dust 2 ended up going on map 3. But they looked a lot more composed than Gamer Legion down the stretch. G2, though, I think, as I said on yesterday's pod, I forget which commentator it was again, but whoever it was, shout out you on the IEM Cologne stream, said that G2 reminds you of a 2023, I was going to say 2013, a 2023 ENCE squad. I think that is true. This G2 squad, and my friend Jerry going into this, shout out Jerry, he said that G2 is going to surprise a lot of people. I think they've done that so far with their performance. Scrolling down, they did get 0-2'd by Vitality, but when we look at this matchup, this first one didn't look great, 13-5. But early on, it was 5-7 at halftime. The second half, though, on CT side for G2 was just a disaster. And they lost 13-5 to Vitality. But they looked pretty good on train. In my opinion, they held their own on train. I do think that they can outclass 3D Max tomorrow, and in fact, I really hope that they can. So I'm going to go G2 on the money line as my last leg here. I think that's pretty safe. I would love to see 3D Max go home. So those last two here, again, Falcons and G2 both on the money line. Falcons is 1.3, G2 is 1.38. So that's going to be a 1.7 times parlay. Pays $179 off of $100. Now, what I was waiting on at the very end was for the Spirit Map 2 line odds to come back out, because I also wanted to run all 6 for a unit here. So we'll go back over. I'm sure it's released now. Yep, beautiful. So we're going to go Spirit Map 2 on the money line. It's dropped from 145 to 138. I think we got it at 145 on our original bet here. Yeah, 145. So now we're down to, okay, now it's 142, whatever. It just keeps hovering. But either way, we're going to throw a unit on that as well to pay us $665. Again, I feel great about all 6 of these legs. We started this tournament with just $1,000, I think, bankroll, or just above that. So going into it, we are now at with $400 in play. That was $19.22 going into today. So up a good amount, 6.35 units officially on plays that we've been tracking through the podcast. And then for today's picks, again, in total, just threw them up here on the screen for y'all. It's going to be Navi and MOUZ, map 1 over 19.5 total rounds. Heroic plus 1.5 map spread, 1.32 times. Spirit, map 2 on the money line. As you can see now, it's shifted to 1.42, but it was 1.45 shortly ago. It'll probably bounce around. FaZe Clan on the money line, 1.5. Team Falcons on the money line, which was TBD when I made the graphic like 20 minutes ago, but now it's 1.3, which we could see as we created those parlays. And then G2 on the money line, which is 1.38 times your money. All right, y'all. Hope to bring y'all some more cash tomorrow. And then, of course, on Tuesday. Then after Tuesday, we do have a break Wednesday, Thursday, before the quarterfinals on Friday. I think it's quarters on Friday, semis on Saturday, obviously, and then grand final on Sunday. So really excited to keep throwing some picks out here as the week progresses. If you like what you've been hearing, if you've been making money, give me a like on this video. Subscribe if you want to continue hearing what you've been hearing. Join the Discord, of course, at the bottom of the screen here, discord.gg/LockCity. Completely free, gets you access to all of these plays and much more. Access to all 9 of our pro cappers across all sports. For those of you that skipped through the ad at the beginning, which I don't blame you, I would have as well. And then for all of today's odds, we used Thunderpick. Our promo link for them is tinyurl.com/LCThunder. They will give you a $600 deposit match, up to $600. So whatever your initial deposit is, up to $600, they will match it 100%. They'll give you free money to play with. And as you can see on our esports picks up until this point, there's a lot of money to be made there. So make sure to follow along, sign up for Thunderpick if you don't have a book already that you can bet esports on. Really look forward to seeing y'all in the server. Thank you for listening, and see y'all tomorrow. Peace.